Welcome to a cup of coffee and hate. As you see, it's really professional the way I've set up this. This is Metalheads Against Bullying. And why do I have this Vips thing here and this amazing little mandarin? I don't know how you say it in English. Mandarin. I think that's how you say it. Well, this is inspired by yesterday's event after I was done at the office here at Kaffekontoret. You can also go to my Instagram to see me paint this and tell a little bit about the whole thing that I'm gonna tell you right now. But also read in the description below for details. The thing is, I was walking home from my office, the studio, Kaffefanzine studio. Had a great day at work and was feeling good. And on my way home, listening to music and just looking forward to watch some Netflix with The Office, which I'm currently watching. And then out of nowhere, this car was driving past me and they took a fruit, a mandarin, and threw it all they could in the back of my head as they drove away laughing. Quite innocent thing, but still it made me feel like shit. And yeah, wasn't that fun, to be honest. And at first I was really disappointed, like, why do people have to do shit like that to entertain themselves, and it has to go out on other people in that way. So I thought, after a while, when I actually realized what the fuck just happened, I was a little bit like, I thought I was too old to be hated now, that I was boring and not so interesting to hate, because I've experienced a lot of similar hate in the past, which I'm going to come back to. But I thought, what can I do to make this world a less shittier place? And then it dawned on me, of course, on my live stream that I have every Friday on Instagram. I thought, today I'm gonna paint a watercolor painting, like innocent watercolor painting, no penises or demons or anything, just a mandarin on a quite basic background and everything. Make that, and then you, the viewer, this is mostly for you Norwegians, but you can get this postcard size print, which I'm going to be printing up on Monday, so you have the entire weekend to do this. You can donate from whatever amount of money you want, from 50 Norwegian kroners and up. So if you want to give 10,000, that's of course allowed, to Metalheads Against Bullying. Just vips them the amount you want from 50 and up, mark the payment Mentzoni Postkort, and then screenshot that you pay them, send it to me on Instagram DM or mail it to me. All info is on my Facebook page and on my Instagram. And then put your order at kaffefanzine.com, which I will put below here, and order the postcard, the Fruit of Hate that I call it, Fruit of Hate Postcard. A little bit complicated, everything I said now, just read below. It's all in Norwegian and English, because it's easier to read it than to say it. So, vips whatever amount you want to Metalheads Against Bullying, and all the money will go directly to them. And the cool thing is they have tents at festivals. They do these courses and speeches to kids and adults to prevent and help people with self-harm, suicidal thoughts. A lot of good stuff, and they're always visible at all the metal festivals worldwide, I might add. And they make it a safer place to be. So if you're feeling lonely or just need somebody to talk to or just want to hang out and say hello, Metalheads Against Bullying mob is at every fucking festival, when there are festivals, of course. I'm very proud to be an ambassador for Metalheads Against Bullying. Me and Rob Halford. Rob Halford. So yeah, now you can donate and the money will go to a good cause. So a shitty experience with the mandarin thrown in my head turned into something positive instead of just going home and being angry or sad or something. Now I'm just getting payback in a much sweeter way. Sweet, because it's sweet. So read the description below for all the info, and it's easier to understand all the shit I just said. You can also check out the Metalheads Against Bullying video somewhere here, or maybe in the start of the video, when I talked to them at one of the festivals. When I went to high school, is it? Yeah, videregående, as it's in Norwegian. I went to Haugaland videregående school, elementary school, and more or less every day I got spat on, and they threw rocks and nails towards my head. I remember one specific episode. I was mostly by myself. I had some friends, of course. I had a lot of friends, but it was the art school and the like electric and like lumberjack dudes school in the same school. So it was like the art people and the more primitive people. It sounds like I'm making a very distinct separation between the two human kinds, but the mentality when you're young it's pretty harsh. So it was like a macho alpha omega kind of attitude on the other side of the school, and then all the dudes, the few of us that went to art school, were like the fags. We were the freaks and the sensitive types, the easy victims for these other alpha jocks to make fun of and harass. So that when you came off the bus stop, it was like one long hallway, or you could go all the way around the school building. I was wearing like latex pants, I had my long black hair, no eyebrows, Marilyn Manson get up, and sometimes I wore dresses, sometimes like G-string all the way up and stuff like that, because I loved shock, rock and roll. And of course it made me happy that I provoked those simple minds. But I refused to go around the building, especially winter when it was like snowing and ice cold. I always walked through that long hallway. But through that long hallway were all the jocks. So most of my friends, especially the dudes that I went to art school with, they went all around the detour of the school to avoid them. And when you walked through that hallway, you would always, like, they would block the way you were where you were walking. They would push you around maybe if they were in a good mood, and they would like spit on you and call you faggot, Satanist, devil worshipper, Nazi, whatever. Every loser, you fucking worthless piece of shit, go kill yourself. I would have notes in my school locker. They would like shove little notes in, and when I opened the locker, it would have said stuff like, you better watch your back when you're walking alone. People like you don't deserve to live. You deserve to die. You're worthless. All of this, like, it was, to me, I was trying to process this in a positive way, because all the interviews I read with Marilyn Manson, Jonathan Davis, all my rockstar heroes, all of them were bullied or some kind of loser or freak at school. So I was like, yeah, I'm going the right way. But no matter how thick your skin is or how tough you are, it still gets to you. So after fucking months, over a year with this kind of bullshit, it kind of started getting to me, especially when they started getting more violent. I was sitting in the lunch canteen, like the place where you go and you buy food and eat, like where everybody can sit. I was the only dude normally that sat there and had my lunch. Most of the other dudes in my class would go back to the classroom in the safe zone. But I was really stubborn. I didn't want to show them that they won. The jocks, I refused to let them tell me where to go or sit at school. So I would always walk down that long hallway, just ignore the spit that was thrown in my face or the harassments and shit. I even once had a shock pink, like 70s style, what's it called? The pants that go like this, hippie pants, with really low waist. So my shaved stomach and like crotch would come up really low, and I had a Hello Kitty little bag, and I had like a really like feminine look that day, and fake eyelashes and stuff, and I would purposely drop my little Hello Kitty bag in front of like the gang with the leader in front, and I would bend over like, oops, I lost my purse, and I would bend over, and I had this G-string that a friend of mine gave me with the big silver butterfly in glitter that was resting in my ass crack. So that was my silent, colorful way of saying fuck you all, and just hate me, I don't give a shit, I'm never gonna stop. And they had to like kind of hold him back because he was like, Sophia, oh, you fucking faggot, oh, you're so fucking disgusting. So I had despite the shitty circumstances, I made the best out of it. Some good stories. Hopefully somebody, when they hear this, they get inspired. Hopefully they don't get beaten up for it, because I don't want people to get beaten up because they copy stuff that I do. So do it on your own risk, but never be afraid to be who you are. Fuck that shit. I would rather be beaten up for being myself than pretend that I'm something I'm not. So I was sitting in the canteen, the lunch area, and I was always with my headset. Music was my partner in crime, my support. So I remember sitting, this is when things started turning more violent. I was sitting there listening to music, probably Korn, Marilyn Manson, some kind of metal, and I could really relate to the lyrics, like feeling alone and depressed, suicidal, and scared, because it started getting pretty serious. And then I was sitting there drawing, whatever, and then suddenly I kind of felt something go past my head, and I saw like a flash on the side of my head, and I turned, I'm like, what the fuck was that? And I just continued drawing, and then it happened again, like twice. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then I saw something bounce off the wall, and I saw that it was like a fucking huge nail, and I looked over, and I saw like the jocks sitting there at their fucking table on top of their throne of shit, and they were like throwing these huge fucking nails, like steel nails, towards my head, which was kind of scary, because imagine if I looked up, because I didn't hear anything when they were yelling or whatever, and I would get a fucking nail in my eye and fucking turn blind or something. So things started getting very serious, and the worst thing that happened, which eventually made me move away from Haugesund, the city I live in, to the neighbor city Stavanger, and I did my last year of school there. So I went 2 years at this school that I'm talking about now with the harassment and all the hate. There was one dude when I was a kid. The Svart Kaffe, Svart Nail like music video is inspired by this story. I had black fingernail polish at the camping where we used to spend summer times as a kid, and I was like maybe 7 or 8 or something when this happened, and I had my first time like Alice Cooper inspired fingernail polish on, and all the kids were like, oh, why do you have fingernail polish, are you gay, do you like boys, blah blah blah. And I was nervous, and I was like, no, it was carnival last night, and I can't get it off. And yeah, you're lying, you like boys, you're homo. So that can be quite like, I liked the people that are different, but I was a little bit too scared to be different. And this guy, we can call him Bønna, that's like slang Norwegian for a bully, or like a tough guy. We can call him, I have no name for him. We call him Bønna, yeah, like bean, that means. And he was like, hey, you guys, if you fuck with Martin, I'm gonna beat you up, because he was like a little bit like chubby dude, like a strong kind of, he liked to fight and get in trouble. He wasn't afraid to use his fists. And he told me, Martin, if anybody fucks with you, let me know, and I will take them for you. So I felt safe. And I could be myself and wear my nail polish, and I started wearing more weird stuff like vomit green square pants and stuff like that, which was like the cool freak thing back then. Very inspired by Cold Chamber, actually. Little did I know that 18 years later, this dude would be the guy hanging out at my school. He didn't go to that school, but he hung out, I think. And he would be like, "Hey, fucking faggot! Oh, you fucking ugly shit!" Blah blah blah. So he was kind of, I think he was doing speed and stuff because he was kind of shady. And then the turning point which made me move was when we were out on town, me and my friends. I stopped drinking when I was 15, so I wasn't drunk or anything. I was just sitting there with my friends at this bar, and he was sitting there, Benna, Bean, with another dude. And he walked over and he said to me like, "Hey, see that guy over there?" And he pointed over to the guy. I'm like, "Yeah, if you fuck with him, I'm gonna mess you up." I have no idea who the dude was. I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. We're not gonna mess with anyone." And everybody was just looking down at the table because this guy was fucking sketchy, you know. And then he like picked me up and he said, "Hey, look me in the fucking eyes." And I was like this close to his face. So I said, "Well, it's kind of difficult not to look you in the eye because, yeah, I'm this close." And he said, "Hey, what the fuck are you looking at?" And then before I got the chance to say, "Well, you told me to look at you, so I'm looking at you," he headbutted me, and I was freaked out. And my friends, they were stressing, like, "Hey, whoa, what the fuck's going on? Leave him alone, man." And he's like, "You fucking shut up." And he did it again. And I started freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? If I hit him, he's gonna fucking kill me. He's just looking for a reason to fucking fuck me up. And the other dude, the poor thing that was hanging out with him, he was like, "Jesus Christ, what the fuck's going on?" Luckily, a friend of mine that I played with for a while in another band called Monster, actually, Sverre, the drummer, he came over and he's like, he's a little bit like bulky, so he took this guy and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they started fucking like going at each other. So I just hid in the fucking corner. I was fucking paralyzed with fear. Skinny little white boy like me. And eventually they threw him out, but he was standing on the outside with his friend in the pouring rain, screaming like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, Mentzoni. When you get out, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna kill you." And he was standing out there for ages, and there was no back door, so I had to go out the main door where he was standing. So Sverre, he followed me to the bus so I could take it home at night, and he just told me like, "Don't worry, man, I got you back. And I had no idea where the other guy was, but I was terrified. I was actually scared for my life. Took the bus home, got home, and on Monday at school, it was hell. Like, I was terrified. Around every corner, I was terrified of meeting him or his friends. Yeah, I was freaking out, like seriously panic. Always had a slight anxiety and being nervous, but this really triggered everything. So made me legit scared for my life. So I started applying for school next year to Stavanger to move the fuck away from Haugesund, because what was just an everyday normal at school, getting harassed, started getting more intense, and then the weekends violence started pouring out into the weekdays. So I would meet that guy or other people in the street coming to my face saying shit like, "You fucking ugly faggot," and "You don't deserve to live," and shit like that. So I started getting scared of being alone out in the daylight during a normal weekday, which was kind of fucked up because there's more of those than the weekends, and in the weekends I can just stay at home. But now it was really starting to bother me though. So I moved to Stavanger, lived there for a year or so, experienced to live on the street for a month when I didn't get into jazz school. That's another story. And it actually started getting a little bit boring being in Stavanger because there wasn't that much action. I kind of missed the hate in some weird way. It was some sort of excitement in it. So I came back to Haugesund. I moved back eventually. I lied to my mom the entire month I lived on the streets because I didn't want her to worry. Came back home, and the first thing, this is no joke, the first thing that happens as I walk out of the bus with my fucking backpack on is some fucking, I don't know what you call them, the people that drive in circles in a car with really loud music. That's all they do. rånere, we call them here in Haugesund. Well, one of these guys, before I fucking stepped out of the bus, he yelled from his car, "Fucking faggot!" And I'm like, ah, I'm back home. So that's my story of one of many stories of the hate that I experienced growing up here in this little redneck town, which is a lot better now. And I feel kind of lucky I haven't been beaten up that much as I thought I would be. But a lot of my friends got beaten up because either they played in a band with me or they knew me, and that was a good enough reason for these fucking low-life jocks to beat them up. I'm gonna end with a short thing before I round this up. One of the dudes in that gang of the alpha males that were giving me hell at school, he also did his last year in Stavanger at another school. And I saw him at the bus stop a couple of days in a row, and he was like kind of pale in his face, like, oh shit. But I noticed him from somewhere, but I didn't know where. So I said, "Hi man," and he's like, "Oh, hello." But I had no idea where I had his face from. Then it dawned on me I think it was a Friday, and I realized, holy shit, that's one of the dudes that fucking spat on me and gave me hell during school in Haugesund, my hometown. So I asked him when we got off the bus together that one Friday, and I said, "Hey man, you want to come in for a cup of tea?" I was drinking a lot more tea that time. He's like, yeah, sure. You kind of could notice in his face, like, oh, maybe he doesn't remember me. Of course I fucking remember you, you asshole. So we went into my apartment, made him a cup of tea, and I could see his shoulders like lower and he's relaxed. And I came in with this big mug of hot boiling water, and I just put it in his hand. And as he held the cup, I just looked him in the eyes and I asked him, "So, how does it feel to drink tea with somebody you made his life a living hell?" And you could see that he was like feeling like shit, or maybe scared that I was gonna throw the water in his face. The thought passed me, but I would never do that. But he just said it straight out, like, "I'm so sorry that I treated you the way I did," like group mentality and shit. And I understood. I read a lot of psychology books when I was a kid. So the group mentality thing, like if he would be the one in the gang, the first school year, and he stood up and said, "Hey man, should we really give him a hard time? Like maybe he doesn't like it so much," then everybody would be against him, and he would have to be alone in that group of people every fucking day in the same classroom. So I can understand them, but it's weak though. But at the same time, I can understand them. But it's sad though that people have to be like that. So if you're like that, or if you know anybody like that, tell them it's fucking stupid. Make fucking watercolor paintings of mandarins instead. Yep, that was, we're 23 minutes now. That was like about 15 minutes more than planned. So I hope this somehow inspires you in some way, this little spoken word of mine. The thing is, when I got this fucking mandarin thrown in my head, like, again, quite innocent compared to what I've experienced earlier on, but it kind of triggered the old feelings. So my point here is, a lot of people go around with a lot of issues and shit inside of their body and their mind. So before you fucking throw something at people you don't even fucking know, think twice before you do it, because it might trigger some really bad shit and can cause some like really shitty trauma. So here I am turning something shitty into something beautiful. So read the description below if you want to contribute and get this postcard. Vips whatever you want from 15 up to Metalheads Against Bullying, and all the money will go to them so they can do cool shit for people. There you go. And yeah, this will be printed in the X amount of orders that will pop in this weekend. And then I will print and ship it on Tuesday next week. I will sign and write something on it if you want to as well. Oh, and you can also go to Metalheads Against Bullying's web shop if you're outside or in Norway and buy a hoodie, a t-shirt, a beanie, whatever, and support them by doing that. 10 of these signed and hand numbered will be available at the web shop next week. All right. Thanks for checking out this episode. Hope you have a nice weekend. See my live stream every Friday on Instagram. Just check out my stories the day before and you will see when it starts, etc. And new video here on my YouTube channel every fucking Friday, all year round. Okay. Can't seem to shut up, so I'm gonna do it right now. Goodbye, have a nice weekend, and don't be an asshole.